What is good, everyone? Master Duel Central. Today I have a little bit of a different video. I haven't made a video like this since I think like the first or second month of this channel. Back then we had like 100 or 200 subs, so I don't know how much people are gonna like this stuff, but I really wanted to talk about cards that I want to see get banned, as well as what I think Konami will be doing with the ban list. Currently, we have the World Championship going on. It's almost over. I think it's like the last day today or tomorrow. And normally, right after the Duelist Cups, which is basically the same thing as the World Championship, we would normally get a ban list like very shortly after. So I figured it was the perfect time to make a video like this. This format with Tearlaments and stuff has been getting maybe a little bit stale for a lot of players. I actually think some aspects of this Tearlaments format have been really good for the game. One thing I really like about it is that Tearlaments being the best deck has made the if you want like the second best decks, the third best decks, it's made them a lot more varied, I would say. So we have like a format where like Spright is really good, Floowandereeze is really good, Exo Sister is really good, Crystal Beast is playable, like it's pretty good. Recently I've been really enjoying Naturia Runic. That deck I've been loving. It's doing great. It's super strong. There's actually quite a bit of variety despite the fact that Tearlaments is the best deck in the game. So I still stand by my stance that in the ladder format, Tearlaments is not tier 0, it's just the best deck in the game. With that being said, I do think there are some things being done in the game right now that are really annoying and toxic. So in this video, I want to talk about pretty much all of that. Some cards I want to see get off the list, some cards I want to see get on, what I expect Konami will do versus what I wish they would do. So yeah, hope you guys are interested in that. Let me know in the comments cards you want to see banned, or if you disagree with me on cards I think should get hit, stuff like that. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like the video. I don't ask to do this a lot on YouTube, but it does help the channel tremendously, and it takes no effort, right? It takes like a second. Really appreciate it. So the first card I want to complain about, and let's just get right in the meat of it, is Cyberstein, right? So sick of seeing Cyberstein being played. It's mostly played in Tearlaments pretty much, and it's just kind of annoying because they can just bring it back with the elf. It's really easy to make elf in Tearlaments. Even if they don't have access to Merly, they could always just, if they have 3 bodies, you make a Link 2 and just grab a Link 2 another monster, make an elf, and bring back your Cyberstein that you milled by milling like 20 cards. Like, your odds of getting to Cyberstein are really high, and then they'll just summon an Exterio, and that makes one of the best outs to Tearlaments, which is evenly matched, just completely unusable. And also like kind of shuts down the Naturia Runic deck, which, I mean, Konami just dropped the cards for that deck, so it's kind of frustrating when I want to play that deck, and sometimes I'll just like I just have to wait basically for, is my opponent gonna mill the Stein, is my opponent gonna elf the Stein back, you know? I just have to like wait to see, and if they do, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I need to have a really specific hand to be able to deal with this stuff, you know? So I don't know, I really think Naturia Exterio is a problem, and because of that, I think Stein is a problem, and I don't think they're going to ban it. I want them to ban it. I think it should be banned, but personally, I think Konami is maybe going to hit Elf, because I know Elf got banned in the TCG, and I don't like it because I love Elf, I love Spright. I think Elf should stay legal personally, but I heard a lot of people say that it's a bit too busted and that it should probably get banned. If they don't want to ban Stein, they might just ban Elf, and it wouldn't surprise me because it'd be like 2 birds, 1 stone for them, because, like, you know, they can hit that strategy in Tearlaments that's really toxic and degenerate, and at the same time, it gives a massive hit to Spright. And then if they do that, well, you know, it's like more incentive to, oh, all these Spright players have to build another deck, you know, type of stuff. Because right now Spright is still really solid. It's a really good deck, so I could totally see Konami wanting to hit Spright. I'd say it's like definitely top 3 best decks in the game right now, and it's just a really solid strategy. So that's it for Stein, but that's obviously not the only thing making Tier the best deck in the game. So how else do we think that Tier is going to get hit in the game? Now, me personally, I am super cool with Tearlaments being the best deck in the game. I just think they might need to, you know, get bogged down a little bit, since Konami doesn't print cards that are as good as Tier. I agree with MBT's take that he had in a recent video, where like, if other decks were just getting cards that are as good as Tearlaments would not be as much of a problem. It's just the fact that like they just get so much stuff. Like, it's like their cards are like everything they have is just too good. Like, they just give more and more. Like, I just don't understand why like a card like Solik, like they'll get like a card like Solik, and then other archetypes are like praying for something as basic as like, you know, a blackout. It's a permanent negate, stays up, can be used every turn, activates your effects in the grid. Like, it's just crazy. It doesn't even have a cost basically. So yeah, anyway, I'm just saying there's other things about tier that make it really, really busted. Usually I think after like 2 months you'll start to see some like more solid hits to like meta decks, and this one in particular is a bit of an exception because it's probably the most dominant deck, like the most dominant a deck has been in Master Duel, except maybe for that period of time before Mathmech Circular dropped where Runic Stun was by far the best deck in the game. I think that's the only other example. So I could definitely see them wanting to hit Tearlaments like pretty hard. So I don't know if they're going to do this. This is just speculation, but I could see them banning Kit Kalos. This is not something I think they should do, but this is something I could see them doing, and I think a lot of people kind of foresee that just because they made Kit Kalos an SR, and it's the best card in the archetype. It is like, it's literally, it's your engine, like it's the engine card of your deck, right? Kit Kalos does so much and is so integral to the Tearlaments strategy. So I think the fact that they made it SR was kind of like as a way to not have to give us UR Dust once they decide to ban it. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. So it would not surprise me if we actually see Kit Kalos getting banned on this list. If they do that, I think that's a little rude. But I mean, what else are they going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I think they could also do. I think they could limit the Ishizu cards, but I don't think they will. Even if they do like really big hits on Tearlaments, if you guys remember, right before Tearlaments dropped, the best strategy, or the strategy that you were seeing everywhere in ladder, was just people playing Ishizu cards with Snow, Necroface, and just kind of like milling your deck. They had a Power Tool Braver Dragon. They would like empty out your hand, mill your deck, just make sure you cannot play. It was even worse in tier, like by far way worse in tier. It was so annoying. So if they do hit tier, whether they hit it or not, they have to hit the Ishizu cards. I think they should limit them. I don't know if they will. Honestly, it's really hard to predict for the Ishizu cards, but man, they really should at least limit the Ishizu cards or something like that, because they're just so oppressive. Honestly, that control over the graveyard makes a lot of decks like really, really hard to play, and it just kind of trivializes a lot of decks in the game that kind of need their graveyard and need to be able to use it. So yeah, that stuff is really annoying. Also, like a lot of people now are playing the Gravekeeper's Trap, and like you never know when to expect it, so most people are not prepared for it. And then if they actually get the setup and you can't use your grave, it's not even like a good, I don't even think it's very good, but it's just goofy and people just do it anyway, because it's like, if it works, it works. It's a best of one format. You're not prepared for it. It's just like gets a free win, right? I think they should really hit the Ishizu cards. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree. I'm sure a lot of people are really sick and tired of seeing these Ishizu cards, especially the shufflers. I actually think like if the millers stuck around but the shufflers left, that would already be like quite a bit better in my opinion. It's still like just way too much gas for tier, but just the fact that they get the gas and they get the protection, and you can shuffle away your Max C if you try to call by a Max C, stuff like that shit is ridiculous. So personally, I would like to see at least the shufflers get limited or even banned, honestly. And while we're talking about all those goofy ass decks, let's talk about, I love talking about this card. I love hitting on this card. Fairy Tail Snow, bruh. Get this card out of here. Can we get this card banned already? I am so sick and tired of seeing this card. It should not be legal. It is not once per turn. You can just spam it on the field. It flips a monster face down, so it's also an interruption. It's an interruption, a free body, not once per turn. And just like a shuffler, you can kind of use it to just dodge a called by or some shit like that. Like, it's actually absurd. It's just a dumb card. And it's not once per chain either. So even if you try to call by it can dodge the call by just activating again. It's just bullshit. I just don't like it. I don't like Snow. I don't think Snow should be legal. I would like for Snow to leave. I don't need Snow in my life anymore. Get Fairy Tail Snow out of here, please. There's nothing else to say. Now, I don't actually think Konami will hit Snow. Personally, I think Konami, for some reason, in Master Duel, it seems like they really like trying to keep as many crazy, dumb, broken cards as possible in the game. And for some things, I actually think that's actually been like a good strategy and been kind of cool. Like Verte does not feel good like at all in Master Duel. Like, it doesn't feel busted, at least. Like, not a bad card, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's like anywhere near in need of being banned. And I think it's banned in both TCG and OCG. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I know it's banned in TCG for sure. And like, man, it's just not that good. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I think that strategy of just leaving cards that seem utterly broken in the game, it can actually pay off, and it can be actually really cool for the game. But in this case, I really don't like it. I think Snow just needs to go, man. It's just not cool, bruh. Next up here, let's do Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenade of the Thief. This is just if they hit tier. I think they need to ban Smoke Grenade of the Thief because I don't want to see that hand loop, hand rip deck that was super popular before tier dropped become the deck again. Like, I don't want to see that deck anymore. So I say just get Smoke Grenade of the Thief out of here. Just ban it. Like, we don't need this in the game. Here's a Floodgate that I hate, that I don't think will get hit at all. But man, I really wish this card would get hit. Winda. I don't think I'm the only one that hates Winda. When you get it, when someone summons like a Rule Kalos and a Winda with the field spell, which makes Winda like 2700 attack or 2600 or something like that, and you can only special summon once, and you can't beat over it, nothing. Like, it's just bullshit, bro. I actually hate Winda. I can't stand Winda. I want Winda out of here. It's just dumb. It's summon limit on legs, and it's so easy to summon in tier. So I just hate it. I mean, I get that it's not even that popular, and it's not even that good in the mirror match. But man, when you're playing against other decks, like, and you set up a Winda turn 1, and it's just like, oh hey, I'm playing Spright. All my monsters are like 1000 attack, and the whole mechanic of my deck is special summoning. It's kind of annoying. It's just like a Floodgate, literally. It's like a stun, you know. It's like a stun deck at that point. And I don't think tier needs that. And it really doesn't. They really don't need that. Like, I don't see how else they could hit Winda either. It's not like they can, like, they can't hit every Shadal card, and they can't ban every single Tearlaments card, obviously. So like, I don't see how else you would hit that Winda strategy other than just straight up banning Winda. So they won't do it. But man, would I like for them to do it. Here's something I do think they will do, or I think they could do at least. I think they might semi-limit. This is kind of dumb, right? I think they might semi-limit Rhino Heart. Do I think this is a good idea? No. I don't think semi-limiting Rhino Heart does very much of anything. The reason I think they might do this with Rhino Heart is just like they did it with Aliber, you know, they did it with Long One. They just love semi-limiting monsters like the Searcher, or like the big, you know, just the ace card monster, right? Like Aliber to 2 was kind of a goofy hit, and it didn't make the deck bad or anything. It was just like, they're like, oh, a little tap on the wrist, you know, remove a little bit of consistency. And I could totally see them doing that for Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart is kind of like a starter, pretty much. It's like your best normal summon, I would say, in Tearlaments, generally speaking. So I could totally see them just putting Rhino Heart to 2. It really wouldn't surprise me. And, you know, it's like, I think they might even do that as like a way of like, well, here, you did get back some UR Dust, you know? You got back some UR Dust. We put your Rhino Heart to 2. You know what I mean? So I could totally see them doing that. Will it do much? No. But it does sound like something Konami would do. So I am kind of expecting Rhino Heart to 2. It really wouldn't surprise me. And on the topic of that, I think they'll do the same maybe to Spright Blue. Spright Blue kind of fulfills the same role as like Aliber for Spright. You know what I mean? Where like, it's like your main Searcher. It's your best like summon. It's not a normal summon. It's a special summon, but it's your best summon. You know, it's your Stratos. So I could totally see them putting Spright Blue to 2 just to like kind of give another tap on the wrist to Spright. If they do that, like hopefully they wouldn't do anything else to Spright. I get that it's still good and that it's been here for a little while, but it's such a cool deck, and it's never been like busted in Master Duel. Ever since it dropped, it's always been just really good, really solid, very beatable, and very fun. So I really hope they don't hit it too much. I really don't want to see the elf ban, and I don't even want to see Spright Blue to 2, honestly, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did that, because they do usually tend to hit not just the best deck, but also the second, third, and like sometimes even like fourth best deck. But yeah, that's about it, I think, for the cards I could see getting hit. Oh wait, I forgot the biggest one. I wish they would ban Maxx C. I really wish they would ban Maxx C. They're not gonna ban Maxx C. They will not ban it. They will not hit it. They will not limit it. They will not do anything. They won't even give me events with no Maxx C. They won't even give me that. They love it. They absolutely love it. So look, what can I say, okay? I just want it banned. This, like, I can't even give you a deeper analysis than that. I can't fucking stand the card. It's stupid. So the ones I think will get hit most likely, like maybe Elf if they don't want to hit the Cyberstein. Potentially Kit Kalos if they're feeling ready for that ban. Obviously they're not, like, it's already limited, right? So if they're feeling ready for that ban, I feel like they're definitely planning on banning Kit Kalos at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this list. If it's not this list, I could totally see it being like the next one. But yeah, I definitely think they're planning on banning Kit Kalos if they made it SR. For semi-limits, I could totally see them like semi-limiting Rhino Heart and Spright Blue. And now I want to just talk real quickly about cards that I think they might unhit and cards I think they should unhit that they won't. So cards that I think they might actually want to unhit and that would be really cool would be Long One. I think Long Yuan or Long One from Sword Soul. could totally be put to 3 now. Like, I mean, Sword Soul is not that good anymore. They don't need the hit. You don't need to hit Sword Soul right now. Just give them back. Just make them full power. They're fine. They're okay. They're not busted at all. Sword Soul can be full power. So long 1 to 3, please. Thank you very much. And then same thing for Analyzer. Adamantipator is actually pretty good right now. A lot of people playing it with the Vernisylph engine. It would just give them like better odds of having a good turn 2, because Analyzer is like the best card to have in your hand for like doing your combos if you're going second with Adams. And I do think they kind of struggle with that, especially since like oftentimes if your first rock gets bounced or removed from the field, it's so hard to play, depending on the hand, of course, for Adamantipator's. I think Fractal could come back to 3, honestly. We haven't really seen Tri-Brigade do much of anything, and I really wouldn't mind seeing Tri-Brigade get some play again, you know, see some play. So I think Fractal could come back to 3. That one maybe is kind of likely. That one's not as crazy as these other ones. The other ones are, okay, I want the Adventure Engine unhit to an extent or something. Right now what we have is we have 1 Water Enchantress, and I think we have 2 Rite of Aramesir. So I think we should either have 1 Enchantress and 3 Rite of Aramesir, or 2 of each. I think it would make more sense to just put 1 Enchantress and 3 Rite of Aramesir, because Enchantress is a monster that if you get it in the grave, you get your full adventure combo, whereas Rite of Aramesir from the grave doesn't get you your full like adventure combo, you know what I mean? So for that reason, I think especially with all these millers and stuff like that, it's just so easy to put a bunch of cards in your graveyard. I think it would make sense to maybe boost up the amount of Rite of Aramesir that we can play, just so that the adventure engine is a little bit better. I really like that engine. I don't think it was ever busted in Master Duel, to be honest. I didn't think it was toxic when it was seeing a lot of play, and I just think it's a cool engine, so I would like to see it like just see a bit more play. So I would be really happy if they put Rite of Aramesir to 3. Other than that, Dragoon is the coolest Yu-Gi-Oh monster printed in the last 10 years probably. It's just such a cool card. It's so awesome. DP saw a lot of play early on when you could get a Pot of Greed on the turn after you summoned it from Celestial. That's like, once they remove that, you almost never see DPE, right? So I'd be really surprised if people started all just wanting to play Dragoon all the time. So I think Dragoon could totally get back in the game. I'd love to see Dragoon in a structure deck maybe or something like that, but I really want to see Dragoon in the game. That's me. I'm sure a lot of you guys would like to see that too, but give me your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys want to see hit? What do you guys think needs to be hit? Do you guys think the game is like in a decent spot right now? Do you think the meta is like getting too stale? Do you think it's really toxic? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see changed in the game. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a ban list pretty soon. We normally do after these events. So we'll get to see what happens, see if I was right about certain things. I think like the semi-limit on Rhino Heart is my most likely guess. I think that's the one that's like, I'm really feeling that one. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm really feeling this semi-limit on Rhino Heart. That's just such a Konami move, right? But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. All right. Peace.